Hey guys, Matt from Soundrolling.com, and I'm here with the Sound Devices 302. I'm going to do a little series of videos just how to use it better. Okay, so let's talk about inputs on the 302. So we have mic and line level. Mic level is obviously for shotgun mics like this one, and line level is for any signal that's already been boosted. For instance, if I had another mixer in front of this and I went from one mixer into this mixer for some reason, then that would be line level. Also, your radio mics should be at line level because they've already been boosted up. This is unless you've obviously plugged your radio mic straight in, as in just the wire of the radio mic straight in and not a receiver. Then we have PH, DYN, and T. So phantom power, that's needed for this guy to power any microphone that requires phantom power. Dynamic essentially means that there's no powering. A dynamic microphone powers itself. And these are the settings we would use for radio mics, because radio mics don't need any power, they're powered by themselves. Then there's T-power. Now you can get T-power at 48 volts, you can get it at 12 volts. Generally, unless your microphone is something like a 416T or is specifically specified as T-power, you won't be using the setting at all. So the main ones to remember are, you're likely going to be using, if you're using a shotgun, use phantom power. If you're using a radio mic, use DYN, dynamic. Then, what I would do in terms of mixing channels, obviously I only have one at the moment, but we have our boom on the left, and then we can obviously mix two radios together on the right. This is kind of the safest tactic, because if, for instance, I had the boom on both and the radio mics on either side, then obviously if one scratches, it's not great, and generally if someone goes off axis on the boom, then that's also going to taint your radio mic signal. So what I do is just have this hard left, hard right. Now, if there's only one signal, then you can choose to do center as well, and then you basically get a stereo output. You obviously wouldn't use this as a stereo output in the long run, but you never know, you can have a backup. You could send out twice to a camera, and you can reduce it slightly on the camera to give you a bit of headroom on one channel compared to the other one. You'd obviously link up though with your 1K signal over here. Next things to really look out for, just in terms of setting up for them, are, this is obviously going to be your gain. I would put a high pass filter on at 80, because generally anything under 80 Hertz is very, very bassy, and especially for shotguns and things, I really don't find any use for it. When you're editing any sound, if you're doing anything narrative, you're going to be adding Atmos and other things like that into the mix, and so that'll completely cover any of this lost low end. This is of course your fader for going up and down. What you should do is put this at 0 first. You can see the 0 at the top, and then adjust your gain accordingly, because that's how you properly set your gain without being influenced by the fader. And then you can go ahead and just fade up and down as you wish. This is obviously all the way off, and this is all obviously all the way on. Middle obviously takes this high pass filter off completely, and down is 180 or 160. And 160 is very, very strong, so I wouldn't recommend that unless you're getting some severe low-end problems from somewhere. And you want this kind of linking off. This is for recording stereo into one channel. I would then also look at your limiters, and I would put limiters on, but I wouldn't put them linked, because that means that if one is clipping and the other one isn't, it would apply the limiter anyway to both stages, both channels. So I would just keep that on normal limiter. And otherwise, brightness, just press this brightness button down here, and I'll do another video on metering in the next one. So if you like that video, you can always hit the like button, and of course subscribe for more content, and I will see you next week.